In the centre of London, only 100 yards from Harrods, nearly 250 horses spend their lives serving the Queen. Britain's most senior regiment, the Household Cavalry, has guarded the monarch for over 350 years. This series goes behind the scenes of great state events. Riding with the cavalry for the first time, getting a trooper's eye view. Driving with the iron horses and the men who work and fight with them. The regiment would be nothing without its horses, the Cavalry Blacks.
Thank you.
We follow the journey of 12 young new recruits who are expected to go from this to this in only 16 weeks. And discover the living history behind this remarkable regiment. The Household Cavalry consists of two contrasting halves, the fighting side and the ceremonial side. This morning, the combined mounted regiment, the Life Guards and the Blues and Royals, practice ceremonial duty in Hyde Park. Major Mark Goodwin Hudson is commanding the Blues and Royals.
I feel very strongly that when we actually go out on parade, we are not only representing ourselves and the British Army, but this is brand Great Britain. It's a very bold, confident, strong statement about who this nation is and our success on the battlefield. We are there to honour the Queen, and we do everything we can to ensure that what we're doing is excellent.
The regiment constantly requires new recruits of both horses and men. Yet 95% of the Household Cavalry have never been near a horse before they join the regiment. 12 new recruits are about to start a 16-week crash course in riding. If they pass, they will qualify to take part in all ceremonial duties. Trooper Glenn Forrest has no idea that he has just embarked on one of the hardest courses in the British Army.
I didn't have anything going for me at school, because at school I used to tear away. School didn't suit me one bit. I can't sit still for 2 minutes in the classroom learning. So I thought, army's the only way I'm really going to get anywhere and get a career out or anything in this world, so that's why I joined up.
He likes you, Forrest. You know what that means when its ears are back? Oh. He's not happy.
Trooper Bobby Baker is only 17. He's spent his whole life in North London.
I basically joined the army after I left secondary school, so I haven't really done much. It seemed like something to do, get away from like your mum and everything, start like being a man basically.
20-year-old Quarry is 3 years older than young Baker.
I've never ridden a horse before, so I'll probably be flying off later.
And it's not long before he's showing Bobby who's boss.
I don't think the horse likes me.
Why do you like him?
I know, he keeps trying to bite me.
Give it a kiss. Be more confident with it when you go in. Put your hand on his bum, give it a pat, and then work your way up. Don't just steam straight in. If I get to know you, either that or he'll eat you. One of the two, isn't it?
Not being nasty. I think he'll probably eat me.
He'll be fine, mate. He'll be good.
Salisbury Plain. In contrast to their fellow soldiers on ceremonial duty, the cavalrymen train for war. They exercise their iron horses, the scimitar light tank armed with a 30mm cannon and capable of over 50 miles per hour. On active service, the Household Cavalry are reconnaissance troops and experts in hide and seek. Corporal of Horse Richard Bentley is a senior vehicle commander.
We operate 4 of our own troops. Could be anywhere up to about 50 kilometres, like an early warning system. Of course, if we know what they're doing, they don't know what we're doing, we've got an advantage. That's why the vehicles are small, very fast and mobile, so the boys can get in, do the job and get back out.
Bentley has served in Bosnia and Belize and has spent 3 years on a horse. Here, his squadron train for the real thing. They have to be ready to deploy to any war zone in the world with just 3 days' notice. In this practice battle scenario, they'll play the bad guys, a ragtag militia who've taken over the once sleepy Wiltshire village of Imber. Their job is to defend the village to the last man. On the other side, Apache longbow helicopters are used to support the parachute regiment as they attack the village.
No, AH-64.
There are 2 Apache helicopters to the southeast. One of the OPs just picked it up about 2k away, coming this way.
Bentley's troop is about to experience the harsh reality of battle, but in a simulated war zone.
They're taking the OP screen out and then they're going to move on to us.
It's vital they learn the essential skills needed to survive the real thing.
Enemy main body sighted.
The battle for Imber has begun. At the Cavalry's barracks in Windsor, 12 trainee troopers are about to begin riding school. They will live and breathe horses here together for the next 3 months. But Bobby Baker doesn't know one end of a saddle from another.
Okay, so reassess the saddle situation. Is that the right way round?
The next mountain they have to climb is getting on their horse.
Okay, it's a horse, not a climbing frame. I don't want to see legs hanging off saddles, arms hanging around horses' necks, anything like that. Lock your arms out first, and quietly right leg over, lower yourself down quietly.
Quickest and best is the term used to describe vaulting straight onto nearly 6 foot of horse. Some find it harder than others.
Too many pies, Gardner and Thompson.
And up there! Come on, man, not all day.
2, 3, up. Go on, lock, lock, lock.
But it's trooper Glenn Forrest who has the greatest trouble leaving the ground.
Getting on, it's a bit difficult than what he expected because it's more technique than his strength.
Look up, lock your arms in. Go on, really lock that wrist.
Because they'd done it, I thought, well, you just scrapple onto a horse. The way they do it, it's still set to drills and timings.
Go on, straight, go on, straight.
Old Hand Quarry is bored waiting for Forrest and decides to take Bobby Baker for a walk.
Ah, you see? Look at that.
Finally, Forrest climbs his mountain. Once everyone's on top, it's time to take the ride for their very first equine steps.
Okay then, so here we go. God help us. Walk march.
To add to the learning curve, they ride without stirrups.
Hands forwards, close your leg on, allow it to move forward.
Now they're just getting used to the position and the feel of the horse. So you can see when they first started, they were really quite tense, and especially the guy on the back there. But now he's actually relaxing and feeling. You can see his body moving, so he's able to relax his muscles and get into it. I was exactly the same. I'd never ridden before, and I know exactly what they're going through. Yeah, change of underpants at the end, perhaps.
And again, and again. Sit back, pull on both ways, then walk.
Corporal Major Des Payne takes Glenn Forrest aside for some remedial training.
It's all technique and I just can't do it. It's just like a bit of an idiot. It's coming. So
Keep your chin up, you're doing well.
just
Night falls in Imber, a besieged village fortified by a company of defenders and the household cavalry. Tonight they expect to be attacked by hundreds of troops. They'll practice the vicious art of street fighting, a vital skill needed to survive modern war zones. Inside a bombed-out house, Bentley briefs his crews.
We'll move our 2 vehicles into the wooded area. Alright, so we're out of sight, so they don't know we're here. We'll set them on the net, and as and when he wants us, we'll bomb burst around the village, alright, giving the 3 paraboys to the enemy as much stick and harassment as we can give them. And that's us, alright, waiting for the war to happen and for us to get involved in the war.
Bentley's crews man their tanks and prepare for battle.
Being the op for the enemy, we're slightly outnumbered, probably about 5 to 1. And they've got attack helicopters as well. I think we're here to die, to be quite honest. But Colonel's plan is obviously we've got quite a few plans ourselves, is to make it very, very difficult for them. And several of the buildings are very, very heavily defended.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and there's a week to go before the big event in the Cavalry calendar, when the Queen will ceremonially preside over the official state opening of Parliament. The police have closed the streets of central London. The Mounted Regiment have special permission to rehearse the Queen's escort whilst London slumbers. Captain Dickie Waygood is the riding master and responsible for the choreography of the event.
We're just riding now down to Buckingham Palace, where we will do a full rehearsal, riding from Buckingham Palace down to Parliament Square, and then wait for about 40 minutes and then back again.
The regiment leaves barracks at 3:15 a.m. precisely.
We've got to get our timing absolutely right. We have today to get it right, and then on the day itself, so there's not a lot of room for error.
Whilst the Queen sleeps, the regiment arrives at Buckingham Palace to rehearse their escort. Dickie rides into the inner quadrangle, ready to cue the moves.
As Her Majesty comes down the stairs to climb into the coach, step into the coach, then I give my first salute, which is the signal to start the whole proceedings. Last state visit, I was talking to the commanding officer, so I saluted him and said, "Good morning, Colonel," and as I saluted him I realised I was just about to set the whole proceedings off, and luckily I managed to stop it before it started.